Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. We got a nice festive group today for LA2M. Yeah, it's a lot of people today. Brave the cold weather. Thank you for being here. My name's Derek Marabon, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing, and I'm up here with Stacy Collick from Dollarville Printing. And this is LA2M. And I think we have some new faces. Who's here for your very first LA2M? Wow, a lot of people. Okay, well, welcome, folks, welcome. LA2M, let me just say a little bit about our organization. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, okay? We meet every Wednesday, except for Christmas and 4th of July, but we're here every other Wednesday, which is great. And all these programs are about marketing education. So we bring in talented speakers who teach on different topics, and it's essentially free to attend. So anyone can come for free. If you want lunch is $10, and that goes to Conor O'Neill's. And then we are, like I said, we're a 501c3 volunteer organization. So Stacy and I are volunteers, Carter volunteers to take photos, Roger volunteers to video stream, Emily volunteers to live tweet. We all kind of work together, and we make the organization run. So, but to support us, we do have some hard costs and expenses. So to support us, we pass the hat. So we're old school. So if you want to help keep LA2M going, if you enjoy these great programming, and we really should pass this out after the speaker, because you're going to be blown away by the speaker and then you just want to throw all your money in the basket. But you can throw all your money in the basket anyways, because the speaker's going to be great. And this helps fund us. And the other thing that helps fund us, LA2M, is sponsors. Okay, so we do have sponsors. And this month, it's Aqua Channel from Meadowlark Builders. And Mike Wynn is here. Mike, you want to say a few words about Arbor Channel?
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Mike Wynn with Aqua Channel. We're new technology for solving wet basement and flooded yard problems. So, folks who've tried to solve those problems and found that traditional French drain systems, those sorts of things, aren't working for them, have them call Aqua Channel. So, aquachannel.net. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. So to be a sponsor, so support Arbor Channel. They're part of Meadowlark Builders, who's a great local builder in town. Do a lot of environmental things, and Arbor Channel is their new spin-off, I guess. So it's a really great product. But we do need sponsors for this organization. So if you want to sponsor, we're actually putting together sponsor packages. We're having a board meeting after this program. But our main sponsorship right now is $250, and that gets you. Our email goes out to around 1,800 people in Southeast Michigan. So it's all the people that come to these meetings who've come over the this is our 6th year of running LA2M. The email goes out to all those people, and you get to promote yourself in here. So thank you, Roger Rayle, for being the sponsor. Next month's sponsor is Ross Johnson of 3.7 Designs. Ross is in the back. Thanks for being a sponsor, Ross. And then we are looking for March and April sponsors. And we have some really big hitters coming, like well, yeah, I'm speaking in February. That usually brings a big crowd. We also I'm really excited, we have like the head of marketing at Michigan, University of Michigan, Lisa Rogers, and then we have the head of marketing at Michigan State University, Heather Swain, on back-to-back weeks. So that's going to be really fun. And I'm going to encourage people to wear their college colors on those weeks. That's in March.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So we can wear college colors, and I think Michigan comes up first, and then Michigan State. We'll talk about...
Time?
Yeah, we're in the middle of basketball season. Nice win for Michigan. I got to give you props for that victory. Michigan's got a good basketball team, a hot basketball team. I still like State for the long play, but Michigan had a nice win there. John and Ashley, there's some seats up front if you want. They brave the cold. But yeah, so those are coming up. So it is really good to sponsor. So if you do want to sponsor, you can talk to me. You can talk to Mary Lou Olds. She is our LA2M employee. And we have one new sponsor. I'm just going to call out this guy up here. His name's Anthony Nitzos. He's got food in his mouth, but he's a virtual CFO guy, and he also does CPA, and he does great work. He's been working with Ingenix now for a little over a year, and he is going to be LA2M's new kind of CFO, helping us run the business side of LA2M, which is great. Because as a 501c3, I'm not an expert in money, so Anthony's going to be helping us. He's our new sponsor, and Ascendius is the name of his business, so you'll be hearing more about him. All right, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, so anyways, I want you guys to follow us on Twitter. You can follow along on Twitter. We're using the hashtag LA2M. You can join our Facebook page, join our LinkedIn group. Please join us on LinkedIn. Just search for LA2M and join all the things. We will be live tweeting today, so you can follow along, join in the conversation. And Emily Hay, our speaker, is a big Twitter person, social media person. One more thing, Stacy has a t-shirt here. Stacy, you want to give that to Emily? She's right there with the blonde hair. Tall. This is a t-shirt.
Thank you.
For every speaker gets, and we'll get a quick photo of that. That's from Bank of Arbor. If anybody does want t-shirts, we have like a box of them back in my office, so let me know. But that's it for our speaker. So today's speaker, Emily Hay of Hey There Social Media. She's a wonderful, talented social media professional, and she's going to be teaching us some of her tricks of the trade. So let's welcome Emily. She's got a baby due. Let's give her a big round of applause. Welcome.
Okay, I'm going to put this on. Can everyone hear me? Is my little mic on? Is this okay? It sounds like it's on. Is it on? Okay. No. If Derek needs to turn it up a little louder, I'm sure he will. Thanks for the t-shirt. That was exciting. It'll fit for a little bit longer. All right, and what a warm introduction. Now I feel a little bit of pressure to deliver an awesome presentation. I felt it before, but thank you. Thanks so much, Derek. So, okay, well, what a good turnout. What's the polar vortex going to do to our LA2M lunches? So again, I'm Emily Hay, everyone, and I'll give you just a little bit of background about who we are, what we do, to give you some context about our experiences. So, Hey There Social Media, we generally run like a traditional agency, but we have a very non-traditional work environment. So we have a team of all women, and most of us, we call ourselves WAMs, W-A-H-M, work at home moms. And we have backgrounds in PR, marketing, journalism, a lot of bloggers on my team. And so we speak from the heart with some of the things that we work on. And the majority of our business is social media marketing for small businesses. So we do everything for them, from writing their blogs, creating their YouTube videos, managing their online reviews, tweeting for them, the works. If it falls under social media marketing, we help them with that. I have the pleasure of contributing once a month to the Internet Advisor Show on WJR, and I also contribute to the Professionals panel on Live on the D, which is on Channel 4. We also do some ad hoc social media campaigns, so that's really what a huge part of my passion is, and what I'm excited to talk to all of you about today, because we see these projects work all the time, and they're not that expensive to implement for your business or for your clients. So if you leave here today with a couple of new ideas about things that you hadn't really thought of when you think social media marketing, the mission is accomplished. Tweet teams, social gig, I'll talk about that a little bit. And then finally, we do have an initiative. One of my team members is a former middle school teacher, so we have a program called Saving Face for Parents and Educators. And this is an online video training program. We write lesson plans. Basically, we get information about using social media safely to parents, teachers, anyone with tweens in their lives. So we started doing some reputation management for some of our clients, and we had some clients say, well, great, now my business is in good shape, but I'm scared to death of what my 12-year-old is doing on Instagram. So it really kind of spawned this initiative. And again, it does drive a lot of our focus. So, in the spirit of being efficient today, let's go through our agenda. When I talk about social media influencers, I'll tell you who I'm talking about. What does that mean? Today, the word of mouth is still the most popular way to get someone to try your products and services and get to know your clients' businesses. But there's so much you can do to have social media influencers tell the story for you. So we'll get into a lot about that. Campaigns and tactics. So again, there's the portion of specific ideas, things that you wouldn't have really thought about. You're racking your brain with how to do Facebook ads and how can I blog more effectively. Well, sometimes if you have someone else do the talking for your clients or your business, then you can really see some impact very quickly. Third, I will give you specific things that you can do to put this all to work as soon as today, if you feel like it. And then, of course, we will have time for some Q&A. Okay, so again, when I say, I'll throw a few words around, use them interchangeably, but social media influencers, to me, I sometimes call them social media freelancers. They are bloggers. They are people who tweet and have thousands of followers. They are people who have their own platform. And the most important thing about these influencers is that they're authentic. So they've taken the time to build their own following. They generally have a niche focus that they talk to. And a lot of the social media influencers that I'll talk about today are women. So many of our clients want to reach the female decision maker. So even if you're, again, I'll talk to everyone, your business, your client's business, if you work for an agency, or maybe it's yourself, you're looking at doing this. With our clients, they want to reach B2C audiences. They oftentimes know that it's the woman of the household that's going to do the research and make the decision when it comes time to purchase. So my nice little visual here for you is, these are the women. If these are some of the social media influencers. They are people who are tech savvy. They use social media to do all of their research before they make a decision. And all of us really, we use the internet to become more savvy consumers. But these folks in particular are the more vocal of that consumer audience. They're the ones that you want talking about your business and making sure that they have great experiences so that they can tell others and influence their decisions. I love this stat. 93% of women bloggers have purchased a product based on brand information found on a blog or online community. 93%, very close to 100%. So it's just important to think within that blogger community, within those social media influencers, they listen, they take action. It isn't just in one ear, out the other. If they feel good or bad about a product or service, they're going to let people know. Now, another thing when I talk about these influencers, you don't have to be a everyday blogger to be a social media influencer. You could be someone who doesn't blog at all, but maybe you use Twitter every day. Maybe you host Twitter parties, and I'll talk about what that means. We also have some influencers in our network that they have QVC quality video skills. I mean, they can get up there behind a flip cam or behind a larger production studio and put together videos that'll just blow your mind. And these social media freelancers are out there, and I'll talk about how you can really put them to use when sometimes it gets tiresome to continue to talk about your own products through video. Also Pinterest. Just saw a stat yesterday, 80% of Pinterest users are female. Most of us probably know that, but now it's officially 80%. So there are so many women that are active on Pinterest. And if you wonder in the back of your mind, what could Pinterest do for my business? Think about, well, how can I engage social media influencers that are really active on Pinterest to help get the word out about my products and services? So just a high-level overview, again, to talk about who these bloggers are. If you name a genre, there's probably a blogger who covers it. So this is a chart that was from Tap Influence. And you can see here, I know it's a bit of an eye chart, but the largest category of bloggers, female bloggers, is the family or parenting category. So that's where you start to hear about the mommy bloggers. And now, sometimes called mom bloggers. But for a while there, when women with children started blogging, there was this bad stereotype that went around that all they do is talk about diapers and pacifiers, and this is not useful to my business. But a lot of women are getting out of they're not even considering themselves a mommy blogger, but they're moving into the next most popular category, which is a lifestyle blogger. So this opens up their expertise to talk about any product or service that impacts their lifestyle, impacts their children, impacts their significant other. So just to point out to you that we've had some businesses come to us and say, if I could only get the foodie bloggers to talk about me, or in the hospitality industry, gosh, if I could just round up some travel bloggers to come check out my new hotel and tell people about it. Well, there are ways that you can activate these folks, and it doesn't just stop there. Some of these other categories, health and wellness, humor, entertainment, photography, as you can see in the other categories, personal beauty, faith, religion. So again, sky's the limit when you think about who are some genres of bloggers that would talk about your products. As for the age, so this chart breaks out for you. You can see that the majority, or at least the highest category of age of female bloggers today is the millennials. So 30 to 34 years of age and a little bit younger. And after that, of course, is moving into the Gen X, so 49 years of age to about 35 years of age is where, as I said, most of these bloggers fit. Now, there are baby boomer bloggers, female baby boomer bloggers, and even though there are less of them out there, if you are in the business of reaching women in that demographic, again, not just women, but it actually could work in your favor because there's less competition. So the women who fit the baby boomer generation that blog actively, they might have even more loyal followers than a blogger who's of a millennial age. So just keep that in mind. This isn't just for people that need kids to be blogging about their latest product. This spans the generations. Another thing, when I got introduced to the whole blogger ecosystem, I wondered, so where do these people hang out? Because it seems like such a virtual connection, and that's the only way you get to know bloggers is through their blog. But there are conferences happening all over the country for bloggers, for specific niche bloggers, for specific genders. And just to let you know, some of these are happening right in our own backyard. And of course, sponsorship is still something that's really important to businesses. But again, thinking about, okay, if I only have X amount of budget and I need people to talk about my business, who should I have do that? And a good way to get entrenched in this community is to learn about these conferences. So just a couple of screenshots. Probably the largest franchise of conferences is BlogHer. That's very focused on women. And last July, I went to BlogHer in Chicago, and there were 4,500 female bloggers, ranging from women who make $100,000 plus a year as bloggers, to women who didn't know what WordPress was. So it's just to show you that this is constantly evolving. This is where women who maybe stay home, maybe they work full time, any person that has a passion for writing and wants to have a platform to talk, they can use their blog to do so. And so at conferences, that's where the bloggers can be and share ideas, but that's where brands really bring their A game. So you can see from this, cute picture with the gals with all their superhero gear on. Just like any conference, brands are there exhibiting, but they come with very specific social media campaigns. A lot of the virtual reality backgrounds, a lot of specific hashtags, photo booths, make a video. Again, these brands know if I'm in a pool of bloggers, I'm going to give them all the tools they can to talk about us. Also, a little shout out to, there's a Michigan conference called the Mitten Moms, and they might have 50 to 100 attendees, but talk about really focused right here within your state, within the state, as opposed to BlogHer that draws from all over the country. Okay, so let's think of these opportunities I keep talking about. Now, as the brand or the business, there are some reasons why you want to work together with bloggers. And primarily, the targeted fit is key. We just went through the various niches. We talked about the different ages of these women. So just like any marketing, if you can get right to the group that you want to reach fast, and that's going to help your budget and your effectiveness. With a longer shelf life. So the neat thing with having a blogger do a post about your brand is that the blogs generally the links don't become inactive. They float around the web a long time, and especially for some of our clients that are more in the startup phase, or even if they're a newer business or an established business but they have a new product, it's exciting for them to know that their content can be discovered by people Googling things and coming across the blogger's post, and maybe not coming to the product's website right away because it's so new. Engagement, nothing's worse than talking to an empty room. So with bloggers, they have, as I said, they've got their audience, there are people that listen, and the engagement on bloggers' blog posts is just through the roof. It's something that a lot of corporate blogs have a hard time. They post a blog and it's kind of quiet. There aren't really any comments happening on that blog. You don't see that when you're having individual bloggers post about things. Finally, the credibility, similar to the other categories, but back to the influencer. Why are you an influencer? Because people listen to you. So instant credibility, If it's a good match for the blogger, and it's a good match for your brand, then it's a win-win for everyone. Now, when I talk about opportunities for the blogger, to be very, very short here, there are two ways to go. So your business decides to work with bloggers. It can be either a paid opportunity or unpaid opportunity. And with the unpaid opportunity, it runs the gamut. But oftentimes, unpaid opportunities are for bloggers that are newer. You know, they want to cut their teeth, they want to show that they write great blogs, they work with cool brands, and they're not necessarily going out there and charging on a leg to do a post because, like anything, they're new. But other unpaid opportunities tug on the heartstrings. You know, maybe you have a client that's a nonprofit, maybe there's no money, you know, there's no budget set aside to engage bloggers, but there might be somebody you come across and you, like any good PR agency, you pitch it, and a blogger might say, okay, you know, I'll do it, and I'm not going to charge you for it because I care so much about the cause. So it just varies. And then for paid opportunities, if you want to work with a blogger, you have to think, okay, they've built their following, they need to be compensated. And so whether you compensate them in cash or in product or with a combination of both, that's generally the etiquette of how it goes. There's no set price. There's no, you know, okay, if I need bloggers, how much money should I expect to pay per post or per blogger? There's so many variables, but at least let you know that throwing something out here, if you said, okay, we have a blog project and it pays $100 plus you get $50 worth of product, and we want you to write a post and tweet this and share this on Instagram, and so you give the assignment, and then that's, like I said, that's how the opportunity is then brokered between the business and the blogger. And again, if there was a counter here, seeing how many times I say the word blogger, but this isn't just for someone that blogs. This could be someone that is really active on Twitter, and you want that person to do some tweets about your business. Then again, same thing. It's going to be a paid or unpaid opportunity. So then, okay, you're excited. We're ready to engage these bloggers. Now, how the heck do I find these people? So that's what I call the dance. You know, it's a courtship. It's searching for a needle in a haystack sometimes. There isn't a particular place that social media influencers hang out on. There's not a particular, you know, word to search on Google that shows you immediately all the people that talk about products in your category. So it's a bit of a manual process, very much like PR folks reaching out to reporters. So you find bloggers that are in the niche and you get in touch with them, and some bloggers are proactive and they go out and they pitch to agencies. Here are my stats, here are the categories I talk about, you know, keep me in your Rolodex. So that's how it goes. If you're ready to go down that path, that's how it works. But I just prep you to know that it's not something that you can rush. So just expect to take some time, and maybe some of you today have some bloggers in your Rolodex for clients. Now, as for working together here, so some considerations when businesses and bloggers decide to work together, as I said, is your audience a fit? If you are a foodie blogger, but maybe you sway towards vegetarian lifestyle, you don't want the local steakhouse to reach out and ask you to do a post for them. Also, when it comes to what I said earlier about mommy bloggers now becoming more lifestyle blogger, it's just a wider range. It's not just products for their children. It could be products for the woman herself, but doesn't, like I said, doesn't just affect the kids. Local versus national. So this is pretty much what, when I had the light bulb moment of why this is so meaningful for ARUM marketers, is that when I went to a conference like BlogHer and saw almost 5,000 women from all over the country, that some of these women, they blog for Disney. I mean, they're talking like thousands of dollars for a post. And small business owners don't have that kind of budget, but a small business owner doesn't need a blogger that reaches the entire country. So are you looking, you know, you're here to, let's say you have a brick and mortar business in Michigan, or maybe you have an online business, but you do want to focus on a rollout in a particular area. So don't undermine the local blogger that might have slightly smaller smaller following, but it's very focused in the geo-targeted area that you want to reach. So this is something that, again, brands have been using national bloggers for some time now, but the more small business owners or people looking for their local clients, the more you realize that bloggers are a very viable marketing method for you, the better. As for budget, we talked a little bit about that. It's a bit of a numbers game. I mean, if you only have $50, don't have the expectation of having a dozen bloggers try your product and write posts about it. But budget can be, again, it can be negotiable based on if you have, maybe you're opening a new location and you want to invite bloggers out to experience something that you'll compensate, you'll make it complimentary for them to experience, then that's still beneficial to them to do so. It doesn't necessarily cost the same out of pocket. As for expectations, like all good marketing relationships, when I say professional communication among both parties. So, as I said, very much like the PR reporter relationship, reaching out, setting very clear expectations to your bloggers, this is what we're looking to have done. I've seen and I've heard, especially with the bloggers we work with, that sometimes there's a little bit of a rub on both sides. So for example, businesses might think, oh, all those mommy bloggers are just sitting around waiting to hear from me, waiting to talk about my business. That's what they do all day, right? And then the mom bloggers or the female bloggers might think, well, this brand reached out to me for a product for 13-year-olds, and my blog says I only have kids that are 9 and 11. So sometimes the businesses expect too much from the bloggers, and sometimes the bloggers expect the businesses to vet them a little too much in the beginning, in my opinion. So I just point this out because the whole point of today's talk is to enlighten you in this new, well, this marketing method that falls under social media, and it's important to kind of speed up the etiquette, learning the etiquette and how to work through this in the very beginning. As for end result that delights the client, again, there are so many great bloggers out there. They know that for them to be on the top of your list of people to reach out to, then they better do a darn good post. So from our experience, everyone that we've worked with goes above and beyond with their posts. You don't expect a bare bones post. They go into serious detail. And the same thing with the business. They have to provide very clear expectations of what they need done, so that way from the beginning, the blogger knows what they're committing to. Okay, so now I'll jump into a couple specific examples of these tactics. I didn't talk most about bloggers, but let me just give you some examples here. So the sponsored blog post, when I talk about having bloggers write for your business or your brand, this is what it could look like. So Lauren Weber, MrsWebersNeighborhood.com. She is a blogger that has done numerous projects with Hey There Social Media and for our clients. And so, don't mind me, I had this redacted from something earlier. But so she writes a blog post about a local business, and the blog post starts right out with the disclosure. I've had some businesses say, well, okay, Emily, now you have these bloggers writing about me. How does it not look like they're just being paid to say something good? Oh no, they'll be candid, but they won't agree to talk about a product or service that they don't think has a good chance of being a great experience. So the disclosure is right there that she received something complimentary and compensation for this sponsored post, and all opinions expressed are her own. So that's pretty standard practice. So she goes on to talk about her experience taking her kids for swim lessons. And just to show you an example of some results with this one. So I'm not talking 100 bloggers for this project. This was a handful of bloggers to go take some lessons in Clarkston. Literally a handful, like less than 5. And within a couple of days, all the bloggers, they all have their traffic reports in the back end of their blogs, and they had roughly 1,000 unique blog views. And the fact that, of course we use Bitly just to see are people clicking through the specific shortened link, but obviously their blog posts were getting traffic directly. And then we were really excited because the main assignment was write a blog post, but these bloggers, because they also are very active on Twitter, they tweeted out the links to their posts, with mentions of that client's brand. And in just a couple of days, they reached over 64,000 individuals on Twitter, and their tweets had over 140,000 impressions. When I document Facebook fans here, so this is actually the total of fans from the 4 bloggers' Facebook pages. They each have a Facebook page for their actual blog. So immediately that brand knew that bare minimum they would get exposed to 16,000 plus new Facebook fans, and also Twitter followers over 18,000 between the women who blogged on this. So those are some of the qualitative numbers, but the quantitative, I'm sorry, that was quantitative. The quality side, the warm and fuzzy results certainly include that the engagement that women started talking and said, oh, I've taken my kids there, or oh, make sure you ask for Charlie next time you're there. So for the client to be able to see discussion happening about their brand on one of these women's blog posts, it meant a lot to them. And it was most important to see that overwhelmingly positive sentiment was shared about this brand. And I know it's not, you never want to have an unhappy comment come through for a client, but that can be really good R&D. If you have a blog post and you have people saying, oh, I didn't have that same experience, that's good for the business to know. Okay, so I'll jump into the Twitter party. How many of you have participated in a Twitter party? Okay, a couple. So a Twitter party, the 101 definition, it's a discussion that takes place on Twitter on a certain day and time, on a certain topic, and you use a certain hashtag. So if you want to join in a Twitter party, you just have to know that hashtag. You include that hashtag in your tweets. It's not unlike what's happening here today with hashtag LA2M. But Twitter parties are also called tweet chats. And Twitter parties are a social media tactic that huge brands have been taking advantage of for years, many, many years. And there are actually some really influential female bloggers with, I'm talking like 500,000 followers on Twitter, that there's one woman in particular, I think she's from the DC area, and she claims to be the inventor of the Twitter party. It's a marketing tactic. So I point this out because this is a fast and measurable way to generate discussion about your brand or about your client's brand. So it could be a brand that's been around for 100 years, or it could be a brand new startup that has something to talk about and you need a quick way to get it out in front of a targeted group of people. So let me give you some examples here. I think I said this, tweet chat, Twitter party, one and the same. Although a Twitter party, sometimes Twitter parties will be a little bit more promotionally focused. There'll be giveaways. Like I said, it's usually an hour-long chat. Most of the time they'll be in the evenings because that's when people have a little bit more time to be on their smartphones or tablets. So Twitter parties, they'll, every 10 minutes they'll give away a prize to someone with the first answer to a question. So again, it's a moderated chat. Now Challenge Detroit is an initiative in Metro Detroit. I'm on the board there, so near and dear to my heart. But one of our goals for one of our strategies for Challenge Detroit this year was to generate measurable impressions and measurable reach from Twitter, just using Twitter, for the Challenge Detroit brand. So how did we decide to do that? We said, well, every month, the Challenge Detroit Fellows, they participate in a team challenge, and we partner with various organizations. So last month, actually it was just last week, we had our monthly tweet chat with Challenge Detroit and COTS, an organization that focuses on homelessness in Detroit. So the tweet chat was a very productive discussion where people were able to chime in, answer questions, share ideas, share resources. And at the end of this tweet chat, we used TweetReach, which is a tool I recommend you all try because it's great. And we were able to plug in Challenge Detroit, the hashtag for Challenge Detroit, and in 1 hour, in the very specialized, locally focused tweet chat, we reached over 45,000 people. And the impressions are over 300,000. So we were really excited with this because each month we've seen these numbers increase. Just like any marketing initiative, you can't expect to launch a Twitter party and have 100,000 people participate the first time. But this is to us measurable results that we will put at the end of the year's case study of people we were able to reach for Challenge Detroit using Twitter. Now here's on a bit of a larger scale. So Ellen DeGeneres' show, she moved to the 3 o'clock slot last spring with Channel 4, and we worked with Channel 4 on a tweet chat to let people know that that move was happening. So we used the hashtag Ellen moves to 3 p.m. And that was, I keep calling it tweet chat, excuse me, Twitter party, because we did give away Ellen's swag and we had more fun questions. It was a little bit broader than a specific topic like homelessness with solutions in mind. So with that Twitter party, national scale, although it was really focused to Southeast Michigan that can tune into WDIB, but we reached over 350,000 individuals and had over, actually it was close to 3 million impressions. This whole Ellen moves to 3 p.m. Sorry everyone, excuse me. Okay. So I just encourage you to think about Twitter parties as a way that, how could I get folks to talk about us on Twitter and be able to prove to a client that you had measurable impact. So when I think about virtual world, people using Twitter, and then bringing it back into a physical experience, that's where we came up with the tweet team. So kind of like a social media street team, tweetteam.com is one of our sites. And the whole concept of a tweet team was, well, what about a business like Conor O'Neill's? What if they wanted to have, and most people here I'm sure are familiar with tweet ups, and tweet tea is another one, but if there was Conor O'Neill's and they said, well, we're opening a new location and we want a bunch of people to come out and try all the food and then tweet about it, then generally the tweet team can talk about that particular initiative leading up to, on site, recapping. Again, it doesn't matter if these individuals on the team blog, they could just be really active on Twitter. So just another concept to let you know about, that if you think, okay, so that the Twitter party sounds like a good idea, but what if I wanted people to touch, feel, and experience something before they talked about it? This is another way that you could do that. Some of these screenshots here at events, if you are hosting an event, if you are present, sponsoring an event, if you have an exhibit at an event, new locations opening, like I said, and then just this past Black Friday shopping season, we had a team together, privileged to do this work with Channel 4 around Black Friday, knew that everyone would be out, shopping, wanting tips, where to park, where to avoid. So we had a team of all gals that did the homework in advance, used a certain hashtag, and then tweeted the whole week leading up to through Cyber Monday. When I talk about YouTube video stars, so how many of you are in charge of making videos for your brand or your clients in some capacity? Okay. How many of you have thought about how could you make more videos but you haven't yet? Okay, all right. So we all know that videos are so helpful for search. And we know that the web is going the way of video, and the more video content you can create that's high quality, then the better. But I appreciate that that's sometimes nerve-wracking, or you don't have the time, or you think you don't have the budget. So wouldn't it be great if you could have individuals who are a part of your customer's demographic make a YouTube video that isn't directly about your product, but about something that is complementary to the interests of your audience and would increase people's view of your YouTube channel, because let's face it, after a while, people might get tired of watching testimonial videos. So we did this for a client that they're very medically focused. So most of the time their videos you can see here, in their own words, they've got one of their doctors focused here. So it gets tough to make approachable 3-minute or less videos. So we've got tips to help you relax and relieve stress, how to make an easy 3-ingredient sugar scrub, how to use essential oils, how to start a journaling practice, how to use henna for your hair. So just a lot of how-tos that are, again, videos that this client, plastic surgery, they want to reach that audience, but they know they can't always just talk about plastic surgery. And what better way to engage your audience than let your audience see themselves in some of these videos. So a wide range of ages and demographics, for these YouTube videos. Now, I sat through a webinar yesterday by OfferPop, and they did a case study on American Eagle and how it was Pinterest commerce and how American Eagle is engaging. They did a section about engaging bloggers and influencers to help get the word out about American Eagle products and services. So just to give you a quick snapshot, again, this is not a client of ours, but I was really impressed. They had a particular board on the American Eagle Pinterest account that they would handpick fashion bloggers, and they would invite those bloggers to collaborate with various boards and then go out and say, this is my favorite gray sweater from American Eagle and this is why. So again, if you have a Pinterest account, if you are thinking of ways to generate more activity around a certain product or service, think about, you probably know who your top customers are, or you start tweeting and you realize, oh, there's a lot of people that I tweet with on a regular basis. Wonder if they're on Pinterest. There's a number of ways to find these people. But think of having them collaborate and create their content for your Pinterest account. And it's just another way to get people to repin and share. So again, how do you find these people? Like, we've talked about some great ideas and you go, okay, great, now I want 50 bloggers to come talk about my product. How the heck do I find them? And some of you might already know how to do this today. Again, this is a remote marketing, folks, so it's not unlike a PR outreach. I said earlier, it takes some time to build your Rolodex of bloggers, but do some Google searches. Find some people within Washtenaw County or within Michigan that you could reach out to and see, hey, have you ever considered doing this work, or we think we'd like to engage you, and this is what we're looking at paying. I'm happy to talk to you about how that all works, but I just want to let you know that this is all totally doable today. And the next option would be, there are plenty of companies that do specialize in these sort of campaigns. So it is something that we do, but we just kind of got frustrated and thought there must be a better way. There's got to be a better way for businesses like ours to get these projects rolling for our clients, and there must be a better way for business owners like yourselves to be able to go and find these bloggers and influencers. So, got a quick little commercial. So that's what Social Gig is all about. This is our startup. We're a marketing consultancy. Tech startups are not my field, but we've started this marketplace that allows brands and these bloggers to connect, find one another and say, this is what I'm looking for, and the bloggers who are vetted would say, yep, I'll do it for that, or not really a fit for me. Or you could find these YouTube video stars or these Pinterest power users. So, and that quick screenshot, there's only two things that you do on the site. On socialgig.co, you either post a gig or you find a gig. So we're at the tip of the iceberg with this, and I think I mentioned it last week's LA2M. We're exhibiting at the ACE conference tomorrow. So we don't have it all figured out yet, but I want to make sure that each of you are aware of this, because this is not something to sit around and wait for. You can go find bloggers today and activate them to start talking about your brands. So a couple lessons and considerations as we wrap up. I think I've stressed the importance of those local influencers that don't underestimate just because they don't have 500,000 Twitter followers, that they're not a perfectly good fit for a local product or a local rollout of something. Getting creative. We've had doctor's offices say, well, what the heck do we have people tweet about for us? What about having a clinic? Have one of the doctors, we would invite a group of influencers out, the doctor talks about vaccinations for babies, and then have a group of mom bloggers, for example, tweet about it, post about it. So just think outside the box and think for your clients and your own businesses. What are some things that I do all the time that I want more people to know about, and how can you turn that into the perfect opportunity for them? Finally, this is not a magic bullet like anything else, and trust me, I go to plenty of social media lessons myself. I had the pleasure of learning last week from Dave Murray when he spoke here. But social media is not just Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, blogging. It's not just that. Like, think about the people on the other side. And this whole ecosystem of influencers is one that I had to learn a lot about, and I feel many small business owners don't even know about. And once you kind of have an idea, you think, oh, okay, I could have bloggers talk about me. the idea of then activating them might be a bit new to them. So just, again, a couple lessons for you. It's not just about having blogs written. It could be a Twitter party. It can be a Pinterest promotion. So think about how to integrate this into your current marketing. So I think I'll stop there and see if we have time for questions. Do we have time for questions?
We don't have time for questions, but
Okay.
I encourage people to come up and talk to Emily afterwards. That was a wonderful, wonderful talk.
Okay.
Great content. You're a wonderful presenter.
Thanks.
So, all right. Thank you, Emily. So now we go around the room, and we're going to get around the whole room in 15 minutes. And I'm sure we can do that. It's 12:45, time for introductions. I'm going to give a brief sample of just how it works, because last time we had some very verbose and long introductions. But basically, my name is Derek Maribon, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing. My company helps businesses reach business goals through inbound and content marketing. And quick announcement, we are hiring a content producer. So if anyone's looking for a content producer job, we just posted it on our website. And we'll start over here and go around the room.
Hey everyone, my name is Alec Perky. I work at Prime Research in Liberty and Manor as JavaScript developer. And yeah, I'd like to get into internet marketing more.
My name's Danny, and I work with Alec at Prime, and I'm a junior web developer.
My name is John, and I'm BCA. I'm folks from Ingenix for my last job, and I work at Prime as a project manager.
My name is Zach. I work at Prime Research as a social media analyst.
Please stand up when you introduce yourself. It's okay, your name. It's okay.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou. I'm a LA2M manager. Welcome everyone. What a wonderful crowd. Really glad to see all of you here. Emily, that was an outstanding talk. Very informative. A lot of really good information in that. And we have a lot more great speakers lined up. Hope to see you guys back next week or the week after that. It's really a good place to be. There's so many things you can learn by attending LA2M. And Ross, thanks for being our sponsor next month, and thanks to Aqua Channel for being our sponsor this month. So, like I said, come back.
Hi, my name is Kevin McCormick. I'm CEO and owner of Alpha Media Creative, a marketing agency that focuses on creating content for ourselves and for our clients, so that our clients can tell their story their way. I'm also the creator and host of a podcast called The McCormick View, which is just like an opinion show that I have that comes out twice a week. So glad to be here. I haven't been here in a while, so it's good to see this is still going on and still as good as ever. So.
I'm Laura, Laura Kirchner with Ingenix Digital Marketing, and I work with Derek. I have our client accounts.
I'm Roger Rayle. I'm a venture catalyst, and I do help a lot of networking groups around town. In fact, I'll be coordinating the video for ACE. So if you have more questions for her, find her at ACE tomorrow. Somebody's got to.
I'm Brett Wallace. I work at Victory Tax Solutions. We're located here in Ann Arbor, and we help clients across the country deal with federal and state and local tax debt resolution and tax issues. I'm glad to be here. This was my first time, and I enjoyed it.
Thanks. Louis Meeks with Victory Tax Solutions. Ditto what we do here on the helping people with back tax problems. In terms of potential opportunities, we're hiring tax attorneys, younger, newer students fresh out of law school. This is a primary focus. We're looking for tax preparers, CPAs, and salespeople. So we're growing quite rapidly and need some help.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Sweden. I'm a freelance web and graphic designer at Out of Sight Design. I offer website design, print design, and WordPress design.
Hi, I'm Tom Bobney. I'm the owner of Mobile Exhibit Specialists. We basically take the trade show booth you might see at the auto show, put it on a semi-trailer, and take it around the country for clients. My ask this week, I'm looking for somebody that is familiar with the platform called Unity. Full-time job, benefits, the whole 9 yards for a friend of mine.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Trehue. I'm a mobile designer for a startup company here in Ann Arbor and in Birmingham. It's called Wantify, and we're looking for another iOS developer. So if you know how to do that, get in touch with me. And yeah, that's it.
Is there something else you want to say about Friday?
I work out of this place called the Tech Brewery. I'm not sure if everybody knows what it is, but it's kind of like a startup hub place for really cool people like me. We are going to be having Beer 30. It's a time when anybody can come and network at around 4:30 or 5 at the Tech Brewery, and you can find where it is. It's in Jones Street, which I don't know the exact address off the top of my head, but it's on our website at techbrewery.org, and anybody's welcome to come and chat and drink some beer. You can bring beer, or we have beer there. And yeah.
But it's just Friday.
It's just this Friday. Yeah, for now.
Not every day.
Not every day.
Hello, my name is Steve Williamson. I'm the founder of a startup called Village Crossroads. We're a senior resource marketplace for products and services for senior citizens.
I'm Bob Wagner with the Foresight Group. I'm a account representative for Print Communications Company.
Hi, I'm John Thiels. I'm an anthropologist. I came because I'm interested in social media analytics. I also do some programming and content development for a small state agency in Ohio.
Kristen Rawson. I'm a very newly anointed social media maven at Center for Education of Women with the University of Michigan.
Hi, I'm Heidi Fanis, and I am a marketing manager for King Scott Architectural Firm. And we are looking for somebody for our communications writing, also for a position in Kalamazoo, if anybody knows of anybody in Kalamazoo.
Hello, thanks Amy, great talk. My name is Greg Mott. I am board president for Michigan Ability Partners. We're a local nonprofit that deals with veterans and people with disabilities and help them become self-sufficient. We have board openings for somebody in marketing and also a CPA. So if you're interested, please see me. Thanks.
Rich Hevitz, I'm new to this and very much interested in for some future adventures here. So the purpose I'm here.
Hi, I'm Linda Baker, and I work for a nonprofit called JBS. We help put people back to work. My ask today is if anyone has gift certificates for restaurants or something along that line that might be good for a fundraiser. We're doing a fundraiser for putting women back to work. It's called Women to Work. Returning to the workforce, someone from a divorce, financial problems, whatever the case might be, but we have a program. All the money raised at the fundraiser will go towards putting women back to work. Linda Baker with JBS. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Ross Johnson. I'm the web strategist at 3.7 Designs. We're a local boutique web design agency. I also run the local WordPress meetup, which is actually happening tonight. It's free, and we're going to live hack into a WordPress site. So if you want to see how to protect your site or how to hack into other people's sites, come and learn.
I'm Stacy from Dollar Bill, your local digital print shop. I've been there 25 years. So if you need any printing, more importantly, somebody left their gloves back here, so make sure you get those before you leave so you don't freeze. And I'm also on many boards. One of my board is the Power of the Purse with the United Way, and March 5th is our big night. So go to the United Way website and sign up and get your tickets, ladies, and gentlemen, if you'd like. And come bid on some purses so we can raise money for women in Washtenaw County that need help.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jim Musial. I am a digital consultant, which means I do a whole bunch of things, but I love to help individuals and companies work in web and mobile development. So if you need assistance with that or have questions, I'd love to talk to you. Thanks.
My name is Rob Lamontagne, and I have a fledgling marketing agency called Local Intelligence Agency. And I'm just getting off the ground trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to focus on and whether or not I might talk to some of the people that are looking for content creators. All right, that's it.
My name is Greg Osmikowski. I'm currently a student in the information technology field, still trying to find my niche.
Hello, my name is Charlie Blainstra. I'm a recent Michigan State graduate with an advertising degree. Go green. And I have experience in digital media and social media analytics.
Hi, my name is Greg Wilson. I'm a recent graduate from Northern Michigan University. I have a degree in public relations. I was actually just up at the UD and I helped with a race up there, a ski marathon. So that was a lot of fun. I am very interested in content strategy, and I'm actually going to take a lot of what you said today into account for some of the things I'm doing. So, thank you.
I'm Kathy Vachon, and I'm looking to see what I want to do for my encore career. I have a hotel and marketing and operations background, and I'm working with several entrepreneurs on their startups. Thank you.
Susan Harris. I'm a retired, more or less, tech writer, internet architecture. Oh, sorry.
Hello, I'm Mark Coley with CTS Companies here in Arbor, and we service, sell, and install business phone systems.
Hi, I'm Scott Phillips with the Searchlight. We're a founder of a startup, and we'll be at the ACE also exhibiting tomorrow. We help inventors discover new markets for their technology. We work a lot with tech transfer offices, but if anyone knows an inventor that's trying to understand the markets for their new technology, that's what we do.
I'm Anthony Nitsos. I'm partner and vice president of finance and growth strategy for Ascendius. We provide finance, strategy, legal, tax, and accounting for companies all the way from startup to multi-million-dollar corporations. I have another hat that I just took on recently. I'm also the founding president of the new Holistic Chamber of Commerce of Ann Arbor. So if you're interested in a holistic view of the world in business and are interested in that, please pay attention. There'll be some emails and announcements coming.
Mike Wynn with Aqua Channel. Come springtime, when you've got that leaky basement or soggy yard, aqua-channel.net.
Hi, I'm Molly Mast with Mast Shoes here in Ann Arbor in the Westgate Shopping Center. And happy to be here today. I got a lot out of that talk, Emily. Thanks. Thank you, Molly.
Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin Weatherston. I'm a commercial and editorial photographer. I'm also the photographer and photo editor for the Ann magazine, which we just came out with the February issue, and I have some. If you would like that, or if you don't know what that is, please come see me. I'd love to share all about the Ann magazine.
Hello, my name is Yan. I'm a sophomore at University of Michigan. I'm undeclared, but I'm definitely interested in social media and marketing. If you have any cool opportunities, I'll be here.
I'm Emily Prague, and I'm a senior at Michigan State. Go Green.
Go White. Yes.
Thanks. Good to see some Spartans around here. And I'm studying advertising management with a specialization in public relations, and I'm in PRSSA, and a specialization in sales communications. And thank you for the wonderful presentation. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm the content manager at Nginx. There's a whole team of us up here today. Emily, I've seen a lot of the things that you've been working on, and I'm always like tangentially kind of near where you are, but it's great to see you talk in person now. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Wright. I am a web design and developer for Nginx Digital Marketing. I will be locking down all my WordPress sites now.
Hi, I'm Curtis Sherling from Print Studios, and I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer. I'm a senior photographer of Great Lakes Sports Publications, which is Michigan Runner and Michigan Golfer, so do either of those activities. You may have seen me probably the same orientation, facing you with a big lens, and lately probably bundled up, so you probably didn't see my face. But then I also do studio and location, portraits, products, just about any type of imaging. The shots I take here will be up on the group's Facebook page. And I'm also shooting ACE, so I'll be running from session to session, shooting a flash off in people's faces there.
Thank you, Carter. And we just made it. It's 12:59. Congrats to all of you. A couple things. One is we have a new survey that's going to go out to our members. Please take it. We're trying to get feedback on our LA2M programming so we can improve that.
We also created a meetup.com page, so if you're on meetup.com, look for LA2M, and you can kind of follow us along there. It'll auto-populate your calendar so you don't forget about LA2M coming up. I'm going to announce next week's speaker real quick. So I opened up my LA2M to Go app. We do have an app. But next week is Jamie Michelson from SMZ Advertising. Anybody know Jamie? Okay, he's a longtime friend of mine. SMZ is one of the established Detroit agencies. They're small, but he's going to be talking about Super Bowl post-game and second screen stories. So next week should be really cool. But before we leave, let's give our speaker one last round of applause. Wonderful talk. Please come ask her some questions. You guys have a great week. Stay warm and go do something good for somebody else. Thanks for being here.